Hi guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name's Laura if you're new here. I am a mum of two and I am a single mum and I have been for 11 months now, and I feel like now is the perfect time to be able to almost share services and things that have helped me throughout this journey of being a single mum. When you break up with someone, there is obviously a lot to sort out. You would think that just splitting up with somebody, sorting out the children, it would be easy as that, but it really isn't. I think there's so much that goes on that actually nobody realises the struggles and the daily things that you have to go through, no matter what circumstances you've, finished the relationship with, whether it is that you finished with them due to, really bad situations, or whether you finished, with each other amicably. There is always, things that you have to sort out, and you've built a whole life together. You've got children. There's so much that goes on, and I feel like with my platform that I've built on social media, I used to share my motherhood journey, very honest and raw of sort of the motherhood journey, and I felt like I was ready to give it up when I become a single parent, but it actually gave me a little bit more motivation and focus to actually share now this journey of being a single mum. And there has been so many of us that have literally pulled each other out through like the darkest of days, through so many situations, and I literally would have been lost without probably having my platform. And I want to be able to share the services that have people have shared with me that I may not have used, but they have always been noted down, maybe to help others. That maybe people didn't know about. There is never just a dead end. Like, there's always services and there's things out there that can help you navigate this a lot more smoother and easier. And some of these services that I may have used and have used have also really helped, our co-parenting journey a lot smoother than it was. You've got to realise that every single person's journey in becoming a single parent is different. Never ever think that there is always, don't be hard on yourself, don't be tough on others that are going through the situation. You might think that, they've just split up, easy. They've just split up, they'll sort the children out, they get all this free time, or they're sorting it out, they don't have to worry about this, or if you're doing this completely solo, at least they don't have to worry about. There is so much that nobody sees that you have to deal with every single day. Nobody sees that. Nobody, and it's not for other people too, but when you think that maybe, sometimes I just think that you don't actually realise how tough it is or how much people go through until you are in it. And I don't think I ever realised the situations and the hardness of this journey until I was in it 11 months ago. So a lot of people split obviously due to so many different situations. And I think when having young children, that is also, a massive strain on so many things. But I do find that a lot of people do split up when they have obviously also got children. And obviously it's really sad, but also sometimes it does have a lot of a weight lifted off of a lot of people's shoulders. But equally, that doesn't mean that it gets any easier just because that, there's so much to it. And this is why I wanted to share with you. Sorry if I just set the camera up and I start talking. I'm no professional. I'm no, I'm just a normal person sharing my journey and sharing the services today of where hopefully that I can help you make. If you didn't know about this, I've helped at least one other person, hopefully make this ride a lot easier for them. Because as we know, it's not the easiest ride to be on, especially like I was saying, when you've got young children, it's just not. There's so much that goes on. So I feel like it's a really big, like everybody says, time really does heal. Even if you feel like you have split up almost amicably, is that the word? See, told you, I'm not a professional. I don't use all these posh words, but I am hoping that I just help one person here. So with the situations, there's so many different, you know, things that you go through from maybe the first few weeks of splitting up to then a month to then maybe like 3 months to then 6 months, sometimes even 6 years on. There is still things that like that get bought, you know, so there's still always things that get, you know, that there's always still things that maybe go on, and it is really tough when you, I think when you break up, you know, there is things that you've got to sort, like the house, if you know, if you've got a house together or pets together or something like that. But when you've got children with someone and you're having to either split it 50-50 or trying to think of a plan of action of, you know, to work it all around it, so that it's also amazing, so that it's also still, you know, suitable for the children and yourself and them, and whew, there's a lot that goes on that, like I said, nobody really sees. So if you know a single mummy friend, or you are watching this and you have found other friends through this sort of journey, stick together. Like, times can be really tough and really, really detrimental on your mental health. So please make sure you're not giving yourself a hard time. You're really looking after yourself as much as you can. I know it's easier said than done, but I have come, I feel like, such a long way in 11 months. I look back at myself now and I just think, gosh, like, there's so many things that I wouldn't have done 11 months ago. There's so many things that I feel like you become so much stronger, you become so much more resilient, you become, it's not that I've ever wanted to change the person that I am, like never, 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 but I feel like the boundaries, the respect, like there's so much now that I think to myself, like, what I really want the next step of my life to almost go towards. I'm so passionate of just prioritising me and the children at the moment, even though I'm 11 months in. I am still really passionate just about looking after myself, finding out who I am, you know, finding ways to be able to manage when I don't have the children, finding ways to balance everything from work to like appointments, the children, me, trying to find, like, heal myself, trying to look after myself, and yeah, like trying to still be a good friend, trying to still be a good family member, trying to remember the birthdays, the birthday cards, like everything. And it's down to like the simplest little things, but you are literally now like juggling this, even though if you are co-parenting, you are still juggling a lot of this on your own. And it's obviously never, ever the life you expected. So don't be hard on yourself. Take it day by day. If you're only a few weeks or a few months in, don't expect miracles. Like, I feel like you have to get through the stages of things. So I feel like you have to get through the stages of, like, at the start, I felt I was really like, yeah, like sad, but then I was really like, no, I'm not letting nobody make me really sad. Like, I'm not having this, I'm not having nobody break me, like, blah, blah. And then I become very angry, I think I become angry because there was so many changes. I was having to deal with a lot of the children's emotions, my emotions, you know, everybody else around me, you know. I feel like it was just so impacted, like I couldn't even, it is like a grieving journey. Like, I know that people say that might be a bit dramatic, but when I've been speaking to now like therapists and so many other parents about this and things like that on my platform, I do feel like it is like a journey that you're grieving, and this is why I really want to be able to have this YouTube channel where it's free for people to watch. It's almost like a safe space for you to come to. If you need to vent off in the comments, if you want to come over to my Instagram and speak to me and just send me a voice note, I might not be able to pick it up right away, but I will do my best to try and help you where I can, because there's not enough out there, I don't think, like services to know where, like, what direction like to take, really. But like I said, you go through like the angry stage, then you go through like, I am not taking this stage, like I am not having it, like I am now standing up for a little bit more of myself. I think you become really protective of your feelings and then the children's feelings and what you feel like. And then also you've got to think of like the other parent, you know, in that side of things, there's a lot. And then you start to heal. So 11 months in now, and I do feel like I'm definitely coming out the other end, like massively more than ever now. And it takes time. I might dip again. I might come to a stage where I might go on holiday or go on a weekend away or go for a week somewhere with the children, and I might dip again a little bit. Or it might be that there's Christmas coming up, you know, or I might be struggling financially with things. I might be fine one month and then next month not so fine, and then I feel really guilty for that, or like really worried about like bills and things. And this is why I really want to share with you today's services that people who have recommended to me that I want to recommend to you, and things that have really helped me with this journey. So here we go. Okay, so get a pen and paper maybe and write it down. Like, it might be really helpful for you to write down and just not like jot some things, or even on your phone. I like the old school way of paper and pen. So the first one is a very taboo subject, and I feel like it's really difficult when it comes to things with separation, with money, bills, you know, having to then financially, you know, basically manage a lot. So child maintenance, obviously we'll get this one out of the way because people will either agree with this one as such, and I don't want to be putting it out here for us to be, you know, in any way, shape or form to cause any upset or anything like that. I just want to be able to share the services that maybe you didn't know about. So child maintenance, they help you with financially being able to sort of come to some sort of agreement financially for the children, and what you deserve for the children. You know, it costs a lot to raise a child, and even if a little bit just helps. So the only thing with this is they do have to be, I believe, working. If you feel like you know any more about this, please comment below, because this is only what I know. Again, like I said, I'm not professional. It's just services that I, you know, have sort of briefly come across. And so if you know any more about it, please share. So then you have, so if you are employed, you can obviously go via their work, as long as the address matches up, they've got an address. You can go through sort of like their work. If they're employed, it's a lot easier, because I feel like it all goes through, you know, HMRC, which is what child maintenance is, sort of the same companies. If they're self-employed, obviously that's quite hard, because wages could be different every month. I don't know what goes on behind the books of those kind of things, and that can be quite hard to try and get a steady financial agreement, because it could look like they're earning some, but 1 month they're not, then month, and obviously it's really hard for child maintenance. Obviously it'd be great if you could just amicably split up. That word is like tingling on my tongue, isn't it? Amicably split up, and then just be like, yeah, you can go on the child maintenance, I'll show you here, like there's a calculator. So even if you don't want to go through the child maintenance service, you can actually just calculate how many nights you have them. It doesn't go by days, it does go by nights. I think how many nights you have them, calculate it, you know, this is what it says that I'm entitled to for the children, share that, and then hopefully you can come to an agreement by that, and just between you two, set up a direct debit, done. But obviously that's not always the case, and money can be a really taboo subject. So then you go to child maintenance, explain what's happened, explain the situation, and then child maintenance will then be able to either, like I said, go through their wages if they're employed, or they'll be able to get hold of them, send letters to their address, you know, sort of come to an agreement for financially for the children, whether you've got one child or 5 children, you'll be able to come to an agreement there. Sometimes, unfortunately, people, you know, whether that's woman or man, it depends what situation you're in, don't pay at all. And let's just say we all know that's just not the best thing for the child. You know, it takes a lot to raise a child. It's food in the cupboard, taking them out for days out, you know, trying to give them like the best swimming lessons, football lessons, you know, things at the school trips, school uniform. There's a lot. So don't ever think, you know, if you are watching this, that the money will ever be, you know, we just want to be able to financially raise our children in the best way we can, and obviously that does take financial situations. So yeah, I really hope that one helps, and I hope that you can get hold of them. They can be really good to speak to. I have had some people at the start that I must admit, at the start it wasn't great and I didn't know what to do about it, and then as time went on, they were really, really helpful, and they really did help me, you know, feel really level-headed that we're going to come to some kind of situation to sort that out. And again, great service if you can get sort of the right guidance from them, but just don't give up. Always try and chase it, always try and, you know, be able to speak to maybe somebody different. I really hope that one maybe helps you in the future. So there's a thing called a parenting app. So on to the next one. So parenting app. So I feel like when you speak to maybe your ex now, it can be quite triggering, whether that's social media, calls, texts, it can be triggering. You have spoke to them for maybe 1 year of your life, 10 years of your life, 25 years of your life, and then not hardly going to speak to them, and then you're just speaking to them about the children, or, you know, via texts and stuff. None of it's logged. So if you go through this parenting app, this one here, it's great. It can just be all logged. You've got everything there. You know, you can open it in your own time. You can request to change, you know, certain days if needed. If you ever needed to go to court, everything is all there logged on the app. I feel like it's not as triggering as seeing a text or a call. You can do all video calls through there. You can log all the time when they're with the other parent. You can speak about things. And I think that it makes you come to more agreements, because you're not doing the old texts, the old essays, you know, like you do at the start sometimes. There is a lot to try and speak out, where I feel like with this app, it really can take a lot of pressure off of the load of how you're feeling. And a lot of people don't know about this app, and it's free to use. Like, it's free. Like, it's so much better than having the old texts and calls or social media. You know, sometimes it's better to cut all of that off and just speak through one thing. And you can do like the health appointments on there. You can log anything that you want, and then both of you can take time to be able to respond to each other. So that's called, I think it was called the co-parenting app. But again, I'll put it up there. So mediation, when you obviously split up, if you are agreeing on what days to have them, that again can be really hard. I think that you think maybe one side of them thinks it's the best, the other side thinks it's that best. Then you're like, wow, like the time is the weekend. Trying to come through that balance can again also be a really difficult thing to do when you first split up. You know, there's a lot there. So if you can't come to an agreement, mediation. I think you get the first £500 from what I believe free through like vouchers, which they can apply to you for. Mediation help you be able to come to, it's not through courts, but if you're going to go to court, they do advise you to try mediation first. It's a really good service. It's somebody that's just in between, not judging anyone. They're just in between, and they just want the best interests for the children. They don't care who's done what to what or who's done who to what. All they want to do is find a good way for the future for the children. So whether that's sorting it out, and again, it's not legal, you don't have to stick to it, but it's such a good way to be able to just get everything off your chest and speak to for, like, I think you get a few hours free. So that's a really good one if you're struggling to come up with some kind of agreement. You can pay, I think it was around £100 per person I looked at before sort of reaching out to you guys to give this advice. And you can also you can also do that. You can get so there's like voucher schemes that you can use and things, and that's really helpful. I must admit, trying to come up with a plan around like splitting it with both of you, it can be really hard and really draining. And I think that's actually one of the hardest things, is trying to come up with the right balance of when to have the children. Obviously, if you have them 50-50, you know, it's a massive change. It's a massive change for you and the children going from home to home. But sometimes people think that, you know, works well. For me, my ex-partner, you know, he works full-time, I work. We've come up with a really good plan now. And we really do try and like understand each other. And if either of us want to have them on like a day or this or that, we really do try now to understand each other. It's taken time, you know, it's not been something that happened in the first month or 5 months. It is a recent thing, and we're really understanding now that we really do need to, you know, really concentrate on the best and it's not that we weren't at the start, but I feel like there was nothing in place. We didn't know who was coming and what, you know, we didn't know what to do for the best. So this lady or man, obviously with mediation, are really experienced in this kind of situation, and they really know how to, you know, come to the best agreement for the children, for the future, and for both of you as well, you know, to make sure that. And you don't have to see them, so you don't have to actually go into a room. You can do it on FaceTime, so you can have one, she'll be in the middle, and you can flicker through. So you don't even have to see the person. So if you're feeling triggered about seeing them about anything, she can be in the middle and she will literally help you on both ways. So that's really helpful to know. So that one is mediation. So the next one is obviously your mental health. I feel like that was actually a really important one and probably should have been my first protocol for actually the first one. Your mental health when you become a single parent, even if you have split up on good terms, there is still so many emotions. Like there's so much that goes on, and then you're having to co-parent. Like I said, there's so much that goes on. So there is loads of free services. So TalkWorks is amazing. They will either lead you to be able to do like CBT or counselling or a bit of therapy. Fantastic. So TalkWorks, ring up. Just please never ever think that you're not worth seeing or your situation is not worth seeing, because I promise you, I have been in that situation that I was just building it all up, trying to be this happy person inside, trying to be the best mum, trying to be the best version of me, trying to work, still trying to like be, happy to everyone, and I exploded. I had a panic, like, it can be actually a really big thing. Now I look back on it, like I was having panic attacks. I was driving, having panic attacks because I didn't know, what was to come next. It really difficult, really difficult. And I look back now and I feel more stronger now. But I didn't back then. I felt really vulnerable. Really vulnerable. And I look back at it now and I think I never thought I would see the end of the light of the tunnel. Like never. I never thought I'd see the end of the light of this. But there is end of the light, and that is when mental health charities for free will help you with that. So Samaritans 111, they have a service straight away that you can press. Women's Aid and Turn to Us. And also Citizen Advice. They also will put you in the right direction of anything mental health wise and anything related to your health and well-being really. And all these services are free. So Citizen Advice, you can use that. They'll help you maybe with going down the right route for obviously your bills, if you need to apply for maybe like a council house, if you need to look into maybe like universal credits. So universal credits is obviously finances and work related. So they say that by law you don't have to work until you have a 3-year-old, I think they said. It's your choice, but they help you financially, which is obviously really good if you've got really young children and you become a single mum, you've got no childcare, you don't know what to do. They will guide you to be able to get into work in time, but they don't force you, and they financially help you if you've been left to cover everything. So universal credit, set up an account with them. Citizen Advice can help you with any free calls, you can go in there, they will help you with, even if there's any sort of like anything financially, well, anything, like literally anything you're going through in your life, like anything, they will help you. So fantastic one if you didn't know about that. So also if your children are a little bit older and they go to school, so the schools can help. They offer leads to even kids' families. So if you feel like you're not actually there yet at a breakup, but time will come and you do think that you are going to separate, these schools, it's really good to let the schools know everything. So the schools are almost there to support you. They're not there to like judge you or anything. Your kids are there sometimes more than they are at home. So I feel like the schools know a lot about your child, and I feel like it's given the trust to them to be able to, let them help you. I think they do services sometimes of like 6 weeks that they can help you with the children, as in like they will do things with the children. I think it was like every 6 weeks. When I was looking up for things like this, oh no, somebody told me about this. This was actually, one of these was somebody from a school said that if people didn't know about that, they can help, often help leads to be able to, point the children in the right direction, give them the right support. Sometimes, like, I feel like for my children at the moment, they haven't really been, at the start, they were really affected and they were so confused and like, they didn't really know. I felt like my daughter, which is 2, she asked for a little bit, but she really, they do say the younger the better, don't they? Because they don't remember any of it. When my son was like 5, he had just started school, there was a lot. He's very, very close to the other parent. He is really close to the other parent, and I'm so grateful now that we can come to some kind of agreement, hopefully now for the rest of the future, to be able to be really good to each other for the children. I just feel like that's so important, but sometimes unfortunately these situations don't happen. And that is when the schools can really help. And also the schools might pick up that the child's been a little bit uneasy or upset or not feeling great. And that's not that they're judging you. They are literally just supporting you in ways that they might be able to help you. So I hope that one might be helpful too if your kids go to like school or college or even nursery. But always let them know. I let them know like quite a lot of things all the time. I have let them know a lot of things, and they're great. They've been really supportive, they're not judgmental, and yeah, they've been great. So when you go back into like dating, it's a funny one, isn't it, really? Because you think that you're at the start, you're like, I'll never date anyone again, like that's it now, like I'll just keep, I'll just be on my own. But sometimes these things, it does happen, and sometimes in time you've got to let your guard down, once you feel like if you're ready for it, to start dating again. Now this one, I am no dating expert, sorry, I am literally at the moment, you'll laugh at me, I'm like, whoop, stay away. I'm healing, I'm in the healing era. Looking after myself, but obviously in time, with the right person, you never know, it could happen. These things do happen, and sometimes weirdly these things do happen to put you in the right direction. Like, it's not the end of your story, you've still got like so much more to live. Like, don't ever think that just because you're not married yet, or you haven't got this, or you would have liked another child, or you'd like to still go off and do things with somebody. Like, that's not the end of your journey just because you split up with one person. Sometimes you think you are made for that person, but as time goes along, you realise that maybe, this journey happened for some kind of reason. Sarah's Law, I think it's called. I just need to check that up, 2 seconds, because Sarah's Law, I had actually read it, I think, on like another website, and I was like, when I'm doing this video, I need to write this down because I think it's so important to share. So you can put that person's name in that you're dating, and it comes up. Awful happened to somebody's daughter. They've made they've made like a website to be able to, and you can see everything, whether they've had any court charges, whether there's anything that's been logged. Obviously when you're dating and you've got children, it's a massive, massive thing. Like, I thought dating is hard, like if you're just on your own, but then you've got to think of the importance of like the children, who they're around, who they're being around. If you don't know this person, are they safe around the children? Like, it's a big, big thing, like huge. So that, again, I'll put that service up here to help you, just in case it's needed, but I think that's such an important one to share whilst that is out there. Somebody, I think, did mention that, or I'd seen it on something, and I was like, I need to mention this because I think that's absolutely fantastic. I think that's absolutely brilliant, because sometimes like you'd like to like naturally just maybe meet someone in the future, and I'm actually thinking that that's how I would like to meet somebody, or maybe somebody that I already know, and things have just happened. Like, I just want it to like maybe in, I don't know, it could even be 10 years time, when the time is right, maybe that's how I would like to maybe meet somebody again. But at the moment, like, that is not my concentration, that is not my priority. But there is a service out there in case you were ready for like dating and you've got children and you're not too sure of where to sort of look for these kind of things. That is a great thing that somebody has set up for people like ourselves to be able, and sometimes also a little bit vulnerable when you're a single parent and you don't know who to let in. So great. It's a great one that was to, that's a great one to sort of, I think, have the knowledge there of that. So they are all the services for the moment that I think that could really, hopefully, potentially make somebody's journey just a little bit easier and a little bit lighter, because it all can sometimes feel a bit heavy and you don't know what direction to take. And there is, like I said, directions out there. that people can help you navigate this hopefully a little bit more easier. There is so many reasons, obviously, of why people separate, and I never really realised it until I sort of am in this position now. If you're in any kind of relationship, you know, that isn't safe or anything, please get the help that's needed. You know, please tell people, please speak up. And I just want you to realise that, like, it might feel awful at the start and it might feel like the worst thing in the world, but you've got to focus on you and your children. Like, you've got to find the happiness for you and your children. It might be absolutely horrific at the start, but you've got to sometimes break cycles so then these children don't go through these, you know, situations. Everyone's situation's different. You know, I just feel like sometimes people do split up. Like, that's just life. It is just life. But if we can make this kind of situation easier and not so deteriorating on like our mental health, and trying to maybe sort things a little bit more easier in a more like helpful and positive and natural way. I feel like you always have to go through a little bit of the anger. It doesn't mean you go mental, but I mean, like, oh, like, I just wish I knew how to like financially sort this, or I just wish I could sort out like the co-parenting properly, or, you know, I just wish that I could like speak to somebody and like not have to pay for it. That's why I really wanted to share these services today, because there is so many like branches out there that you may not know about, that I hope that I've shared with you today that might help you. And like I said, you know, everybody's story is so different, and if you can help a friend or a family that's going through this, just supporting them by anything really, just being there, just showing up for like, even if it's not for them, you know, just showing up for like them and the children, I tell you, it goes such a long way. You might feel that sometimes because people are not in it like as long now, it's not like the first few weeks of the breakup. That's actually not sometimes the hard bit. It's as time goes on and you've got so much to sort out. Bills, financially as well, you know, the overheads of everything that you have to sort out. There's so much to it. Like, I'm rented, but I know a lot of people that that have spoken to me about single parenting, that have a mortgage. They've had to, like, you know, they've had to give up the house, they've had to go move in with people, but also sometimes people do get left with all the bills, even the mortgage, and then you're trying to live like a really, you know, like happy life by doing things still for the children because you feel guilty, and you're still trying to look after yourself, because if not, like, you feel like you're going to completely like crash. So at the start it may feel really wobbly, and even for like the first few years, you know, it does take time, and at the start you don't want to be ringing around all the company bills. It feels really hard to like actually let it settle in and think like, gosh, this is really happening. It took me a while to ring the bills, changed, you know, the tenancy agreement. You know, it's something that you've built a life, you know, and you sometimes don't imagine it all, but equally, when I look at it now, like, these things do happen, and yeah, it's just all about navigating it, you know. And I just want you to know you're not alone. I hope that my page, whether it's my Instagram or TikTok or, you know, YouTube, I really hope that this is a safe space for you to come to feel like you're not alone. If you feel like you're having a bit of a tough or a heavy day, I'm really hoping that I can share more. I'm no bloody professional. I'm just a single mum, 31 years old. I've got 2 children. I don't work for any of this kind of like situation. So I can't give any like legal kind of things out. It is literally just things that I've sort of been told about or used like whilst being a single parent, or people have told me about that I've obviously wanted to share with you to hopefully help you guys out if you didn't know about this. I hope you're okay. I'm sending you so much love. Don't be tough on yourself. Don't be hard on yourself. Just take this as it all comes. You know, it is going to take time. It's going to take a lot of tears maybe, and that is hard to say, but it does. You have to almost sit with how you feel, sort it all out, sort all the bills, sort everything out, you know. And in time, I promise you, I know from only experience now, and I'm only 11 months in, like, I still now could have more, you know, in time, there could be more things to deal with. You know, it just depends. The kids could get older. You know, there's always going to be different agreements on things. There's always going to be different ways of how you think we should have done it this way, we should have done it that way. But remember, there's no like dead end with it. Like at the end of the day, there's so many things out there that can help you. If you've got friends and family, please stay and let them know exactly how you're feeling. I know it sometimes feels like you don't want to burden anyone and you feel like you're almost don't want to, like, everyone's got their own situations, but if they really are good family and friends, like, they will listen to you and they will want to support you, especially whilst you've got children. Like, I feel like my friends' children and my family's children are like literally like my kids, and I want to support them to also know that they're being the best version of themselves, to be the best parent to these beautiful children. You know, no one's asked for this. I come from, I hate the word broken home, because it's not. I come from a home, a very, very loving and caring mother. Like, she still is absolutely amazing to me and my children. Like, I couldn't have probably got as far, maybe as quick, without her support. And I just feel like sometimes people don't have that. And if you can, you know, help somebody that is going through that, even just, you know, giving them a cuddle, it really doesn't go amiss. I promise you, like, it really doesn't. But my mum brought me up since when I was younger, she brought me up on my own till I was like 1.5, and then she met who I call my dad. He brought me up since I was 1.5 years old, and he has brought me up like since I was till I was 31, and I'm very, very grateful for him. I really am. And the fact that also I've got like an older sister from him, because he already had a child. So, and then my mum and him went on to have like my little sister. And as time went on, I actually found out that I had another sister through who my mum had me with, and I was like 18 then. This is what I mean when I share my journey. Like it's not been an easy ride, and all I wanted, I think, was I just wanted a family to stay together, because I used to think, I don't want to have all of this. Like, when my kids are older, I don't want them to go through all of this, like having to split up the weekends, having to do this, having to do that. But I wasn't hard done by having it done. You know, I spent time with my dad, spent time with my mum, spent time with my sisters. I now have a fantastic relationship with my sister that I met when I was 18. Like, everyone's got their own story to tell, and everyone's got their own like things that are going on, and you know, sometimes that you might not even know about. So yeah, I always feel like if you can help somebody, even if you're going through tough things, I know it's really hard, but I feel like I want to be able to help people whilst I'm healing, whilst I'm coming out the other end of it. I actually feel like I feel like I'm raw in it, and I want to be able to share this with other people to hopefully be able to help people out there navigate this, and yeah, like I said, not feel alone on this. But yeah, everyone's got their own story. You know, I've got like, I feel like sometimes I could write a book. I'm like, wow, like there's so much that's gone on, but it's made me into the person I am today. And I feel like when you have so many different like challenges in life, it really does shape you into like the person that you are. So don't think that if you're going through a hard time now, it's going to completely break you for the rest of your life, because it won't. I think it just shapes you into somebody that that somebody up there wants you to be. I don't know why these things happen. I really don't, but maybe sometime in our future we might know why this has kind of happened. But yeah, I don't want to get too deep. About it. Maybe we'll have a really deep conversation one time, and we'll just vent off to each other about everything. And that is what the comment section is all about on YouTube, and obviously the fact it's free. The fact that you can get so much more in depth about people's life. You know, when you're following me on my platform, you know, I just feel like I really want to be able to like connect with you all on such a better level, because you guys have really, really helped me out more than you can ever imagine. So yeah, thank you so much. I hope everyone's all okay and has a lovely day. I hope that this video you found helpful and useful. please subscribe to help my channel grow so that I can hopefully do some more videos and, you know, bring more people in if they need this kind of help and advice and a page to come to. I really, really hope that you have enjoyed this video and you've got some notes wrote down that will help you for the future. Or with anything that's going on. I really do hope that, yeah, this has helped you. Anyway, I won't keep blabbering on because I do, like, I've had to be really serious in this video as well, because I feel like sometimes I can be a little bit of a, all like this, like all flappy and blah, blah, blah. But I really do feel like just venting this all off to you guys about the services is just a great video to share. I don't think there's enough of it out there really for single parents. So yes, I hope it has helped you. Like I've said, please subscribe, maybe follow my Instagram for everyday life, and sending you so much love. Take your time, don't be hard on yourself, and if you know anybody going through this, just take care of them. I promise you it won't be, it really won't be missed. Sorry, I think I've got hay fever or something because my nose just, it feels like it keeps running, but there's nothing there. I'm like, whoa! But anyway, I'm gonna get myself a cup of tea before I actually go and pick up my two little ones now, and then we're staying at a friend's house tonight. I'm so excited. She's got children, she's on her own. We've almost just combusted together this little life of ours, and I couldn't be more grateful. So I'm going to go and sleep up there now. We're going to have a sleepover because it's the summer holidays, no school runs. We put the kids to bed, and then me and her just have a good old chin wag and cup of tea, because obviously it can be a little bit lonely in the evenings, but I promise you, you also get used to that. Like, I love it now. Once the kids are in bed, I either go to bed myself or I have a bath, I watch whatever I want on the TV, sort out anything that's needed that you write down. There's always an endless list of tabs, isn't there? But I write all of this down. Like, there's a bill there I need to sort. What's this one? Let's be honest with you. Southwest Water. So I've got to ring them up because I think I need to log my, what's it called? You know what I'm trying to say. I need to log the numbers that you've got to log for them to do the, yeah, anyway, another job that you've got to do. It don't bloody stop, does it? But I hope everyone's well. I hope everyone's all okay. Have a great week. Try and stay positive. Try and stay calm. Try and just let it, like they say, let it. Blow it all away before you start thinking that you're going to message back or be like, ah, just breathe. Have some time to think about things. Remember, it's all in the moment. Just breathe, okay? It's going to be okay. I promise. Sending you loads of love. Have a great week. Thank you for watching. Bye.